Live. What up, world? It's Radioactive Podcast. It's your host, Ace Boogie. And today we got a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself, sir.
Eastside, my block, come ride with me.
f.l.u.
3735 East Commerce to be specific. You already know what it is. Nigga, if you knew better, you would do better.
So, tell the people who you are, Mr. f.l.u.
I'm a homegrown Eastside, guy from the mud, man. It don't get no better than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like old school Eastside, East Terry's, Super S, Lincoln Gym, Sam Houston, W.A. White Elementary School, King Middle School. Like, I'm here, from here, born here, raised here, Like, I didn't come here, didn't travel here from nowhere. Like, I'm from this mud.
Raised. So you do music as well, correct?
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Eastside, f.l.u, Countdown Entertainment, Empire Music. Definitely trying to, find that niche and just really, help San Antonio get where we need to be and close this gap.
So, do you have any, because I know you do events and host parties type things. And what are you doing right now?
Right now, we got the Eastside mixtape. Shout out Empire Music, man. Eastside mixtape is really going to be a cornerstone of what I'm doing as far as musically, just being able to give people a real authentic look at what I feel, the East Side is. A lot of great, amazing songs on there. We got the f.l.u. Unplugs. I've been doing those. Those is a live band concert series I'm doing.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
You be killing it with the bands too, bro.
Man.
How does that make you feel having a live band? I know it's a different energy.
Yeah, live band's just different aspect, man. I try to really think about what I could do that was different. I know a lot of people, shout out to everybody doing their shows and events, and I just didn't want to do another Sunday night, give people the same kind of look. So, shout out Breathe Lounge, K-Rock, definitely provided the avenue. Shout out my partner, JC, helped me put the vision in play. And that's what it was, man. We decided to just do our own thing. Shout out to the band, sound guy, everybody that puts in the energy to make it work. And the live aspect is just different, man. Give you a whole different vibe, give you the music sonically, give you the vibe of being able to feel like you somewhere else, not just a normal.
You have to practice
club.
with them?
Oh yeah, you do run-throughs. We definitely do sound checks and run-throughs with the band. You want to make sure you're on point. Typically, if you got the tempo and you know your music, that's what you're going to do. And that's what I try to do is provide, that aspect. Here's some of these guys that we know and love, shout out to Yoda, Avar, E-Twiz, Gabe Loke, Cheddar. I've had tons of people, Rue Yola. I've had tons of artists definitely come through and show love. KG, my player partner, you know what I'm saying? And come through and just bless the mic and, let us hear their music on that live aspect. And they gave us some great energy.
Who's besides you, who would you say is the hardest rapper in San Antonio?
Hardest like rapper?
Rapper.
It just depends on what you enjoy, man. I like Cheddar's music. It gives you some energy, gives you some truth. You know what I'm saying? His last project, he had his grandmother on a project, and I thought that was just a crazy insight to something. KG gives me a good vibe. Always vibing, great music. Yoda's shit is hitting. Sosa. It's a lot of guys that just really put in the work. I like Avar's music. It's a lot of guys out there that really got some quality music. We just need the avenue. Right. So, that's how we cooking.
So tell me, let's take it back. Growing up, San Antonio, when you was younger, explain that to me.
It's like that, every city got a hood aspect. It ain't no more hood than I'm sure there's a lot of places. It just depends on what you go through. So for me, typical story as you hear, single parent home, the streets kind of gave me some real good insight on just growing up. My mom, shout out my mom, just left. She came to visit me. She took care of me. I had a great family, so they took care of me, but I wasn't really taught anything as far as like, nobody taught me how to fight. I just started fighting. Nobody taught me how to ride a bike. Nobody taught me how to drive, so like these are things I just learned by just being out there, seeing drugs, seeing people, get arrested, seeing people get knocked out, seeing females get hit on. Like, it was all seeing people get murdered. It just became normal as an environment, and you just learned and just kept moving. You had your family to feed you and clothe you, But, you know, as far as learning aspects, like nobody really pulled me aside and was just like, hey, this is how you play the game. You just kind of just grew into it.
You brought up murder. Can you explain that story? Like you seen something like that?
Oh, I've seen a couple. It ain't nothing to glorify.
Right.
You know
but which
saying?
one stood out to you? Like tell me a story about the one that stood out to you.
My
the
mom
most.
probably, I think I told my mom a story for the first time, or even if when she was here, like I remember being 4 years old. So when I stayed in the East Terrace towards the back, and there was a train tracks, you could walk over these train tracks to go to Super S. It was a trail that led to Super S. And so I was like 4. My mom told me I could just play right on the porch. And she was busy. I mean, you know, it's a house full, you know, mom's doing their thing. And I had the bright idea. I had a $1 back then, which was like, I can get a few pieces of candy for $1 at 4, getting ready to be 5 years old. So I decided to walk to Super S. Like no supervision, nobody with me. I just walked over, went through the tracks, went through the trail. And I ended up seeing these 2 guys getting in a kind of argument. And I went in, I got the candy, came out, and, you know, just, you know, without respect to, you know, names and people, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, you know, seeing, you know, the guy pull out. Then I thought it was a toy. I was that young, I thought it was a toy. And he shot him and he dropped. And, you know, people going crazy. And I'm looking, and
You 4.
I'm 4 about to be 5.
Holy shit.
And I walk back over the trail, go back home, sit on the porch, and eat candy. And mom called me in, and it was normal. I had seen so many people fighting and so much shit going on in these areas. I didn't really think outside the spectrum. I knew what happened, but I didn't like grasp it. It was just like, oh shoot! Like I was more thinking like, let me hurry up and get home before I get in trouble.
Right.
Because I ain't supposed to be over here. Because people started, you know, grabbing people up and running and stuff. I said, oh shit! Like this is definitely ain't where I'm supposed to be.
So that gunshot didn't like startle you or nothing? Like
it was more like probably it's a while back. I can't remember my initial reaction. It definitely wasn't to run. It was a little bit of a distance. Again, I thought it was a toy, so I probably like whoa, and I see people going crazy. You know, again, I thought it was a toy. And I was like, he about to get up. Yeah, they playing. Obviously, it's loud noise, but then I started seeing the commotion and people and running, and I was a little bit in by the grass, getting ready to go back. So I was like, damn, I'm about to get in trouble. Like, let me go back. So in my mind, I'm like, let me get back home. And it was just, and that's how things were. I mean, it's a couple of situations that you come home to. Rest in peace to, you know, some of the people that I've seen. You've been in difficult situations, you know, that I grew up with 2 people in particular that grew up in my hood and were respected their families and stuff. I don't really want to say their names, but they got into it, and one of them killed the other one. And I knew both of them, you know what I'm saying? So I remember in a rap, I put, you know what I'm saying, one suit. Do I go to court or the funeral? Like, it was just I was a lot older, so I was able to understand and grasp. And even their families was close. So it just was a crazy disagreement that led to something that probably shouldn't have happened, definitely shouldn't have happened. And this stuff was like normal till I got older and realized that, okay, this probably is not as normal as what I think it is. I should probably feel a way about some of these things. And so it's just one of the things you just fall into, I guess.
So these are the type of things that probably, I'm not going to say wouldn't happen at all, but I'm pretty sure if both parents was there, it probably wouldn't happen that way. So if y'all don't know by now, letting y'all know this is pretty much an episode about absent fathers.
Yeah.
So little history on me and Mr. Jarvis here. Jarvis is actually my cousin, my first cousin at that. And what's crazy about it is we didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? At least I didn't. You know what I mean? I had no idea. I've seen him around before, but I had no idea that this guy was my cousin. So I mean, actually, like I said, his father, which you know what I'm saying, the man who was absent, is actually my uncle. So you know what I'm saying, his father and my mother are brother and sister. So, I mean, it's crazy how you walk around the city and you got fam and you don't even know that's your fam. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how that works. You know what I mean? And he looks just like my uncle. It's crazy. How did I not connect that? You know what I'm saying? But it's wild. First cousins at that. You know what I mean? Wow.
It's crazy. That's how it works.
So,
is there any other family that you come across?
Have you come across other family like that? That same way, just
that's
random?
how I found Valerie, my sister. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know of anybody. I was in middle school, and this girl named Shamel was like, do you have any brothers or sisters? And I have my brother by my mom. So I'm like, yeah, I got a brother. And she's like, no, you got any sisters? You look just like my older sister's friend. Like y'all are just like she's talking about Valerie. And so I'm like, not that I know of. Me again, I ain't really meet my dad really like that. So I was like probably 16, 17, something like that. I had seen him probably once or twice, but nothing that I could remember like that. So I definitely didn't know about anybody. And so I went and asked my mom the next day, like, do I have any brothers and sisters or whatever? So she told me, yeah, your dad got like three older girls and a younger boy. And so I was like, oh, okay. So then I told her, yeah, I think I do have a sister. You know, my dad's name is James Brown. And I think he got 3 kids. And she went and asked her sister, and lo and behold, she's like, yeah, you got a sister. Her name is Valerie. You got another sister named Veronica and Stephanie. And yeah, like you got sisters. Y'all look just like I knew it. Y'all just look way too much alike.
Jesus so, strong.
I was like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so Valerie ended up going to the school and going to the office and like asking, can she meet me? And that's why I met her for the first time. So,
whoa. So, yeah, what was that like?
I mean, anybody who ever knows me, I'm like really laid back. So emotion wise, I really didn't react crazy to it. It was shocking. I mean, it was just like, wow, like she do like me. And it was more for them at that particular point, because I was in middle school still, so it was new to me, so I really didn't know how to react to it. But for her, I mean, definitely to take the steps to come meet me. I mean, they ended up she ended up taking me to the movies a lot, and you know, trying to like get into my life and introducing me to other people, and so that was cool just to feel like other people. Again, never had a sister at that particular point.
Was it hard to build that relationship with a stranger, pretty much?
I mean, again, not for me personally. It really just depends on the person. Even to this day, like, I don't look at situations like even like for my father, like that was his choice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their story, and I'm sure in a perfect world he would have wanted to be there a little better. But nevertheless, I don't hold a grudge towards it. It made me turn into an excellent father. Like I'm beyond an excellent father because I knew what I wanted to be and what I was missing. So I didn't hold anything towards her. It wasn't her fault. We didn't know. So shit, we just linked up, and it was getting to know. It was weird getting to know people because I hadn't been around these people. I'd never really been outside of my little quote unquote hood or area. So being in different areas and stuff like that, I was like, oh, like I ain't used to being over here, stuff like that. But I mean, as far as getting to know her, you know, they made it kind of easy. You know, family's family. We kind of just gravitate and just kind of work it that way. So it didn't feel away for me.
So you ended up finding out you had other brothers and other, like you ended up finding out you had more than just the 3 girls.
Veronica, 2 older sister. I ended up I was working at a place, and my oldest, I believe she's the oldest because I don't even know who's the oldest already. I believe Stephanie is.
I think she's the oldest, yeah.
And she worked there. And I didn't know she worked there. And she ended up sending me a message. I guess she seen Pittman, and she kind of had an idea of me. And so we ended up, hey, where you at? I'm in by the break room, and I met her for the first time like that, like at work. Years later. As well. So
what about your brothers?
The brothers, James, I knew of. I didn't necessarily know he was my brother like that until I found out later. And he was around the city like that as well. Like back in the days, they used to have a lot of shit camps and basketball camps and stuff like that. So I ended up seeing him at like a camp or something like that. And, you know, at that point I knew of him. And so we kind of linked like that. And Joseph, I didn't see until years later when I was older. I was over 20 and I was able to move around myself and went and met him myself. So
do you have a relationship with your siblings today?
No, I mean, social media makes easy to. I don't have the best that I would probably want to. I mean, I have some stepbrothers that I really grew up with and was around me all the time. So we have a really tight relationship where we talk all the time and things like that. And so me and my biological siblings from my father don't as much, but it's all love. I saw them. We would go out. We'll go eat. I mean, they've popped up on me. We've gone to events and certain things together. And so it's never anything to get together. It's just through habit and through us not being as close and growing up like that, we don't get together as much. But if they hit me, it ain't a big deal. We can.
Right. You spoke about meeting your pops around 16. How was that meeting him for the first time? How was that experience?
I probably seen him like 18, 19.
Yeah.
That nigga was out of there.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was probably about 4, And my mom called me. I was in Lincoln. I was doing something, who knows. And she called me across the street and was like, "This your dad." I was like probably 4, 5, somewhere around that time. But I wasn't. I was trying to go back and play.
Yeah.
So I came, saw him, he picked me up, and I remember just going back to play. After that, I don't remember seeing him until probably like 18 or 19 or something like that. I heard he was doing better. You know, he was living in Georgetown or something like that. And I drove up there. Actually, one of my young brothers was staying with him, so I drove up there, and we kicked it. We played basketball, and we kicked it and talked. We ain't never had that like where was you at type of thing, because it really didn't matter to me. I just never did. So we kicked it. Nah, I mean that'd be something that he would probably want to do for himself, if that would give him some sort of closure. For me, again, I just and maybe a product of where we grew up at, you know, it wasn't necessary for me. I knew where he was at and why he was where he was at, and shit, it was his choice, you know, it was his story to tell. So at that point, it was like shit, I don't know, and I've seen him from time to time. We speak, and you know, and if he wanted to get together, we could. But I don't hold no, you know, that's something that maybe he would want to do, but. And if he did, that's cool. If he needed that, but I don't need that.
So you don't think so? It didn't affect you really at all. You think?
I'm sure it did in ways that I don't know. You know, you tend to think that the way you're growing up is just natural. Shit, this is the way I am.
Right.
So I'm sure people that have interacted with me, you know, my, you know, kid's mom, you know, my girl, my wife, whoever I was with at that particular time, would probably say the opposite. Like, shit, you was tripping. I don't know what it was for. You know, you was acting this way, you act this way, you develop habits. To me, I probably don't see it, but to them, it probably is some issues that could be worked out. But I mean, I won't know it unless I cross it, I guess.
Okay.
Have your kids?
Yeah, my kids. Well, yeah, they met him one time at one of my sister's kids' birthday party, and then actually my grandmother, who I would go over and check on from time to time and see her. For her last birthday party, they were all over there, and he was able to see them. I don't think he's seen my oldest son at a particular point, but I know my younger kids have definitely met him. Yeah, it's like, who's your dad? Where's your dad? Stuff like that. But they got
shut up.
You know, they got, you know, their mom's dad, and you know, and father figures that have been in my life, so they know people as their grandfather and stuff like that. So they ain't really. My kids are focused on what's in front of them for the most part at this age.
Who taught you how to be a man, or how did you learn how to be a man?
Family, man. I seen a lot of examples of it being wrong.
Okay.
And a few examples of it being right. So I just got to pick what I wanted to be. I don't think it's necessarily an excuse. You know, I understand some people are products of their environment, and it just is the way it is. My grandmother had 11 kids, so I had several uncles, cousins, you know, that went to the military and had families. I was able to see her do it the right way, and then I had brothers and cousins that sold drugs and did the wrong way. So I had a choice. You know, I did some dumb stuff and dumb shit time to time, and you know, I always knew what was right and what was wrong. I was never so much in my environment that I didn't grasp that this is wrong. Like, I knew what was right and what was wrong. I knew what choices I had. Luckily, I was into sports and certain other things. Every now and then, I dabbled into trying to sell drugs, do stuff like that, but I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. So it was like, get some money, get fly, get out, go do something else type of thing. So, I mean, I always had a choice. So knowing what I didn't want to be taught me how to be a man. Like, I don't want to be out of my kid's life. I don't want to miss out. So I'm going to be there regardless.
So I'll make you think real quick. What are some negative aspects to you and some positive aspects to you with not having a father?
I mean, negative, you just don't know how to have the conversation. Man, I have a son, 3 sons, you know what I'm saying? So shit, a lot of it is we figuring it out on the fly. Yeah. Shit, I don't know how to talk to them about sex, and other than just being open with them. I'm very open with my kids. They can talk to me about anything, like about, you know, sex, about this, that. There's no like way of speaking to them. Like, it's like awkward almost to a certain thing. Like, damn, you really find out when they start to get into shit, then you like, okay, we need to start talking about this because apparently now you into this type of thing. So those are negative aspects of me. You want a guideline, you know, this is how it was done for me. A lot of stuff I'm doing for the first time because I ain't never had the conversation. I ain't never had nobody teach me this. I ain't never had nobody talk to me about this. So it was all in retrospect to me just learning on the fly is the negative. I mean, the positive, again, it's what you make it. I knew what I didn't want to be. I remember in elementary school, I had a teacher named Miss Newman. She asked me, what's your dad's name? I'm going to call your dad. You get in trouble. I'm like, shit, I don't know. In my head. And I really did. And at that particular time, I knew of him. I couldn't think of the name at the time because I was in trouble. And she literally in the middle of being in trouble was like, that's so sad. And she just sent me back in class. And I'm thinking in my head the whole time, like, damn, what is my daddy's name? And I went home, asked my mom, she told me. And I was like, damn, I never had, like, at that age, I probably was in 4th, 5th grade. I was like, damn, I never had my kid not know my name. That's crazy. I couldn't. And I thought that all the time. Like I never had my kids not know who my name was.
And you didn't build no type of resentment from that.
Nah, because I had people in my life, and maybe if I had such a terrible life, that I would find maybe the need to blame it on them. But I ain't saying my life been perfect. I went through a bunch of shit, but I mean, I had family around me. Again, I learned things on the fly. I got out of some trouble that I probably shouldn't have been in and stuff like that. So overall, I'm blessed to be able to take care of my family, have people in my life that I care about. And so I don't have a resentment for it because my life ain't that bad to me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if it was not as good, then I would feel a way like, damn, I should be living better than this because you ain't teach me shit. But for the most part, I don't because, I mean, shit, I don't feel like I'm that bad off.
Right.
Was there any moments growing up where you went through something and you wished you could talk to him?
So any times in your life where you wish you can talk to your father? Like something happened, you're like, man, I wish I could talk to my pops right now.
I don't say it was instances of seeing people with their fathers like, damn, I wish I had that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like, we all raised through TV. I fucking raised on Fresh Prince and seeing shit, be like, damn, I wish I had an Uncle Phil to talk to.
Yeah.
But damn, I wish I had Officer Winslow or somebody. And I watched a lot of TV and seen a lot of TV dads and be like, damn, I wish I had a dad like that. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in their positions, but I ain't ever like thought about it like that.
How was your relationship with your cousins and your aunts and uncles?
On the daddy side or
on my
how's your relationship with your family on your dad's side?
It's no problem because if we see each other, I mean, I've met several of them. They've looked out for me. I remember on prom, my Aunt Jackie gave me like $100, and so they've looked out for me several times. And so I love them. I care about them. If I can make events and do things with them, you know, I just don't know of everyone, so I have to like know because I'm used to the things that I've been doing. So Thanksgivings and holidays and things that I do with my other side of the family because I just have known to do it. So, but if somebody had a birthday or something that I knew about or a party and the kids, I mean, like so my grandmother's birthday, her last birthday we went to and the funeral, of course, and things like that. So, I mean, if I know about it, I have no problem with, you know, meeting people, learning, seeing what's up. I just got to know, you know what I'm saying?
How was your relationship with your grandmother?
My grandmother was good because it gave me a second chance at it because like my grandmother that I grew up with that raised me passed away, and that was the closest person to me that I had experienced. Like, okay, now I'm fucking hurting. Like, you know, and it happened in a way that was crazy. So like that hit me tough because that was something we were always raised. Like everybody on my side, like my cousins, my grandmother's house was that place. And so we would go there, Thanksgivings, holidays, Christmas, like that was where we went. And so that was the closest person I had lost to me. And at that time, I was actually at a funeral for an aunt on another side. And then I got the call. So then I had to pull my mom out of the funeral to tell her that my grandma was about to pass away. And she's already at a funeral about to mourn someone she considers to be a sister. So it was just the most difficult thing I had to do with just to figure out, like, how am I going to tell her? I'm crying and trying to figure out, like, how to tell her that her mom was about to die in the middle of her mourning her aunt. But at that particular time, it gave me a second chance because when she passed away, then I had already knew her mother grandma, but I started getting more closer with her, stopping by, being able to check on her and stuff like that. So it almost gave me a chance to have my grandmother back again and have another grandmother in my life at that particular time. So it definitely helped.
So you was talking about the trouble you got into earlier. What type of trouble did you get into? I mean, you said you wasn't bad. Well, what did you get into? I want to know.
Shit. I was one of the ones that was just into shit. And luckily, the way the world worked out, I just never really majorly got down. We all was one mistake away from being, you know, into some shit back then. I mean, selling drugs, sneaking out. I mean, one time I was with my partners. We called the bus the other side of town. The bus stopped running. We were stuck on the other side of town. Had to sleep outside. Like, just stupid stuff, you know.
You told me a story about one time. You said you had to ask somebody, the cops, where you were at.
Oh, I was out somewhere, and I shouldn't have been. And I was trying to get back home, but this is again, no Ubers, taxis, none of that stuff exists at this point. And so I'm trying to get back home, and I don't really know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get home, and I swear to God, true story. I'm at a corner store, and I just called the police. I was like, "Fuck it."
You just called 911.
I just need to get home. It's like 1 o'clock
from the payphone.
From a payphone, just press 911 because you need a quarter. And so he came and he was like, "Are you in trouble or something?" He like, "Man,
how old were you?
We not a taxi." I was probably like 12.
Okay.
He like, "We not a taxi, man. You need to call your parents." So at this point, I'm like, "Fuck, like, how am I get home?" I just went up to this random couple and just asked them could they give me a ride home, and they did. But in retrospect to where things are now, I would never want my kids to have I'm in a car. These people could have kidnapped me, took me somewhere. Nobody would have known where I was. So I snuck out. I didn't tell nobody. I was actually trying to meet a female or something.
What?
And ended up got stuck.
She was having a hot boy summer.
She got in trouble and put me out, and her mom came, and now I'm out somewhere and can't go back there. So I'm trying to figure out how to get home, and I'm just in the car with these strangers riding in the back seat. It was quiet, radio on. They like, "Where your parents at?" Like, asking me these questions. I'm not thinking nothing. I'm like, damn, like, I hope these people just take me home.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the door like, do I gotta jump out this car or something?
Tuck and roll.
And they took me home, you know, and nah, they dropped me off in front of the apartment complex.
And just let you go.
Home, just let me go.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Was they cool for that? I'm thinking about it. You're a parent now. Now you're a parent. Were they cool for that, or were they wrong for that? Should they have walked you to the door?
For me, it was cool. I mean, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, so who knows what a parent would be thinking, like, damn, like, what was these people? I think the responsible thing for them to do probably would be to tell my parents.
Right.
So if they got a kid, but at the end of the day, it was just dangerous for me to do, period. These people could have kidnapped me. Nobody would have ever knew who I was, know who I was with. Maybe the officer who I spoke to could say it was a kid. He called the police, but who would have knew? Because it wouldn't, I mean, again, it's not a lot of cameras and stuff at this time. I mean, who knows what kind of technology was available at that time. And I would have been just out of there. So, I mean, it's just little stupid stuff like that. Skipping class, failing class, trying to sell drugs. I had drugs on me and money one time in class. Shout out my partner, JR Lovins. I had to slide him the money, and they took me out of class and searched me and stuff. But I didn't have nothing on me at the time. Went back in, and he held everything for me. So that was an experience. And just little stupid stuff like that. Just got into little stuff.
Okay. What made you go into school with all of this on? Like,
you know, because you don't think about it. You're trying to get it off. I'm trying to get some shoes, some clothes. I'm trying to get some money. I know some niggas buy weed and buy stuff here and there. So, and then plus having a wad of money on you back then just seemed cool. Like, shit, I got, even if it's $400-500 at that time, you gotta think you in 19th grade with $500. You like, shit, like everything on me.
Do you think that's our problem today? Is that clout, that feeling of that clout chasing?
As far as younger generation,
even our generation too.
Factor. People, I mean, everything's so now. Everybody want it now, and so I mean, it's tough because everybody wants it now. Everybody wants whatever they want. They want it now. If your phone ain't working for 5 minutes, you calling phone company cussing somebody out. If your internet down for 5 minutes, you calling cussing somebody out. So everybody wants it now. And I mean, it's just a respect factor, just being able to respect the people around you, the people in your life, situations and things like that. A lot of younger generation don't have anybody to look up to or just don't respect things. And so to them, it's like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Us, we had a healthy fear of adults and you know, figures like, I mean, Coach O was a figure as saying like you could talk how you want to all these other teachers, but Coach O wasn't having that. Officer Joseph, Miss Lampkin, rest of so like it's just people you look up to, and you knew what you can get away with other people, and so we respected that. And I don't know if that's like an aspect now, because it seems like kids don't really respect a lot of stuff now. So I don't know.
So do you think that the OGs and the gangsters in the neighborhood could help raise the kids in the neighborhood? Because a lot of times when they look up to the OGs and the gangsters, they end up joining.
It depends on who your OGs is. I had some OGs in my life that if I said, hey, can you, like, I'm trying to get on my feet, like, can you give me some work? Can you put me in? Them niggas would have been like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, nigga, I know your mom. Like, your mom ain't finna kill me. Like, get out of here. Go hoop. Go do something. I started selling drugs because my brother sold drugs, and I was able to get stuff from him. Like, and if I'd have went to, shout out G-Lo, Odell, guys that I knew in the hood that was like, and be like, hey, man, like, let me get some. They'd have been like, man, they probably, now I'll whoop your ass myself. Like, get out of here with all that. Now, I don't know if they got that same thing. Somebody in they OGs might put them on now. Like, shit, all right, what can I get out of it type of situation? So I don't know if they got the same respect. OG can't do nothing for you if he ain't got his head on his shoulders. So it depends on who you look up to.
Now, for you said growing up without a father made you want to go harder as a parent now today, right? But what is it with these other young men that they don't want to be in their kids' lives? Like, I don't really quite get that. I would think it would make you want to go harder, but it seems like we tend to get this cycle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's weird. It depends on the person, man. It's real weird because like it just depends on you. Like you would think that would make you not want to be, but a lot of it is set up for us to really feel. One thing I don't like is, even just child support system. I don't necessarily like that. I paid 18 years of child support. Luckily, it was enough to be able to afford it at times. But sometimes, what can you really do if you make a certain amount of money and right or wrong, child support is gonna come out and you don't even got enough to feed yourself or make it to work. So in your mind, it's like, shit, I might as well sell dope. Shit, it's tax free. I'm gonna have money. I'm taking a risk, but shit, it beats being in the home hungry. And I remember one time I called a child support officer, told him that I needed my child support lowered because I had just, got out of the military, and I was like, my child support needs to be lowered because I don't make that much. And they told me I needed to get a cheaper house and a cheaper car. And it was like, shit, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy to me because they don't value the time. If you don't pay child support, you go to jail. But that means nobody gets any money. And then you stuck. But then I get the other side of it for people that don't pay and don't be in their child's life. So it's it's just,
The government don't care because either way
yeah, the gap, it's not that I don't think it should exist. It's just that I think the gap is this big, pause, and it should be it should be smaller, it should be a smaller gap in between, trying to help these people be in their child's life and just trying to get people paid or make money. I think the priorities should be a little more on making sure the guy has a job that can be in his kid's life versus to being like, I don't care, you need to pay X amount or go to jail. That
So
don't really
they make it more about the money than the time.
Ain't solve nothing.
So how do you feel that gap can be narrowed?
Communication. We got to grow up as people. If you got cheated on or whatever, that shit ain't got nothing to do with your kid. Like, if you grew up without a father, you should understand. You should want your kids to have a father in their life or a mother in their life. So you got to let that stuff go. I don't care if he cheated on you. I don't care what he did. Like, I get it. It hurts. You got to get over that. I don't care what she did. You gotta be able to communicate and raise the child. Otherwise, you have a kid that see both of y'all in the same shit and be doing the same thing to the next person. You got to communicate and be able to let that go and be able to raise your children correctly. And that's just how it's gonna go. Otherwise, you're repeating the cycle.
What is something that happened in your life that you think that would have been totally different if you would have had your pops?
Well, probably if I had what would be different if I had, or a situation that would have been different. A situation
that happened in your life, kind of like the store situation. A situation that happened in your life that probably wouldn't have happened if you would have had a pops in your life.
I don't know. I think if I would have had a father in my life, it would have changed my life dramatically in the sense of things and trouble and stuff that I got into. I can't think of in particular situation that I got into that having a father would have got me out of. Having a father probably in my life would have avoided me from having kids so early. I knew I love my kids and I'm in their life, but you know, I had kids early.
How old were you?
I was 17 when I had my first son. Because I mean, again, you just don't know no better. I ain't really, you know, had nobody to really guide me and be like, hey, man, like my kids, you know, sometimes I'm very honest with them. So they may say something like, well, you did this. I'm like, yeah, because I ain't had nobody, you know, I ain't had nobody on my ass like you do. So you don't get to do that.
So do you feel like you grew up with your kid, the oldest?
Oh, yeah, I grew up with my kids. And even still to this day, we grow up together again, because a lot of this stuff is firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
So when the sex talk comes, I ain't never had it. So shit, now that we about to all have it together. You know what I'm when I'm teaching my son how to drive, or if I'm teaching my son about fighting or protecting himself or how to respect people or how not to talk to adults like that. Like my father didn't sit me down and say, you know, if anything, my family, you know, would sit me, hey, you know, my grandmother demanded respect. You couldn't walk in my grandmother's house and not speak. You know what I'm saying? Period. Or my grandma make it go back outside and come back in and try that again. Like, so when I'm going to my grandma's house with my kids, I'm like, hey, when you go in here, you better make sure you speak. So, you know what I'm saying? It's different aspects like that if you don't got nobody in your life to tell you these things, then it's up to that somebody gonna just correct you. And then depending on what kind of discipline you have, they may take that or they may, oh, you can't talk to me. You know, it depends on the kid and the influence they have in their life. So, I mean, definitely, I think having a father and having somebody to talk to and take me places and do things would have helped. Because a lot of places I needed to go or wanted to do, but I couldn't. My mom worked, so I had no way to get there. So I just couldn't do it, period. So having a father, having two parents in your life helps that. You're going to cripple your children by not allowing a whole person to just help you, whether it be to pick them up, to take them somewhere, even if it's a little money here and there, a meal, homework. You can't do everything as a single parent. You just can't.
So do you believe a woman can raise a man?
I believe a woman, I mean, you can raise a man depending on how you was raised. If you was raised by a father to show him what he's supposed to be doing, then you can. But there's still certain aspects you just can't teach. Protection, fighting, you know, standing up for yourself, things like that. I mean, you just can't teach them that because you shouldn't be fighting no man yourself as a woman. So certain things you just got to learn either on the fly or you got to be taught. And that just is what it is. In my opinion, anyways.
Growing up, did your mom date?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, again.
So how long do you think a person should be dating before that other partner can claim that child?
Can claim a child?
Mm-hmm. As far as say, this is my son, this is my stepson. However, you know what I mean? How long do you guys have to be together?
I don't think it's a time limit. It's a
bond thing.
It's a bond thing, and it's a what you doing. If you in a woman's life to be in a woman's life, then that claim may take a little long because you're not really there for the child. You're there for the woman. But if you accept the woman and you accept the kids, it depends on what you're doing. If you providing for this child, helping him do his homework because his pop's not around, teaching him, guiding him, showing him the way, and I really think that's upon the kid because if you're doing all that stuff, at a certain point, that kid gonna ask you like, "Shit, can I call you dad?"
Yeah.
Or might just introduce you as dad, or might just take you on as a father. I don't think it's something that you can really say like, "Call me dad." Like that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, I'm your father. Like that's just weird to just tell him, knowing that he got a father. The relationship got to be there. They got to tell you that. And then if you providing for them and you providing for a household and a family and other siblings that are there, especially if you have a child with the woman, then you can't exclude a child that's not biologically yours. You got to treat them all the same. So I don't think it's a time frame. I think it's what you're doing. It's about what you're doing and what you're there for. If you're there for it, you know, time could be as short as it need to be. If you're not there for it, if you're not trying to be a father, then that time frame is long because that's not what you're there for anyway. No stepkids. No.
Okay. So if you could say anything, if there's anything you wanted to say to your pops, what would be the thing you would say? Or a question you would ask.
Really.
Or a question you would ask.
That's what I'm saying. My personality is not like that. So My dad's in San Antonio, and we still don't see each other like that. It's up to him, you know what I'm saying? We see each other, we talk. There's no questions. I don't need to sit down and have that like, where was you at, man? You really hurt me. Like that, it may be, again, depending on who you ask. Maybe to somebody I was with or my girl or somebody may say like, oh, man, you be tripping because of this. But
so it's nothing that you can think of. I mean, think about go through your mind like, yo, you know what?
I knew where he was at. That's the thing.
No. I mean, but affecting you. I'm talking about the effects of you. Like, there's got to be something that you do that you be like, yeah, man. Yeah, but the woman tells you. Come on now.
I mean, people tell me I'm stubborn sometimes. I act a particular way, but that's more of for them to deal with. For me, it's like maybe I could change it. If I want to be in somebody's life, then I'm gonna change that. You know what I'm saying? And so, but there's nothing I could really like. Dang, like why you wouldn't F me during this time? Just like if I didn't know what was going on or what it was like, I knew my dad was in jail. I knew when he did drugs. I knew those things. I grasped those things early. When I was young, I knew what sex was. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. I knew what sex was. I knew what drugs was. I knew what crack was. I watched New Jack City when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. Like I know what it is, you know what I'm saying? So like I didn't need an explanation. Like I know if anything, if he tried to come, and that's one thing that he ain't done, he ain't never tried to come in with no bullshit and be like, like we just don't have a conversation. I know what it is, he know what it is. And we go forward with it.
Is that unspoken word healthy though?
I mean, again, it depends. For him, maybe I don't know if he has some things that he would like to say or get off his chest. Like he can do that. For me personally, I don't think nothing he tells me is gonna make a big difference to me. I ain't gonna be like, oh shit, all right, now I get it. Now I can be a better.
No, because there ain't no excuse to you at all.
Yeah,
especially with you being in your kids' life. It's like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What?
Maybe if I was worse off in my life, I would feel away. But I mean, I'm a great father. I have a great life, great family, kids that love me. You know, people in my life that I care about. So, I mean, there's nothing that he did that cost me away. Most of the shit and stuff that I got into, even as a kid and as an adult, I had a choice. I probably made the wrong choice, and he didn't affect that. You know what I'm saying? That was just a choice. I knew what was right, what was wrong. Again, my grandma had 11 kids, so I had aunts, uncles, everybody that was telling me shit, don't do this, don't do that. I knew what right and wrong was, so he didn't do nothing or change nothing that, you know, I thought that one little thing would have made me a whole nother person. So if he need something that he need to say, that would be on him, but I don't feel away. I don't feel like we need to sit down. I need to figure out where was you at? You know, why you wouldn't love my mom? Why you wasn't like I ain't care nothing about that.
Okay, well, how about this? What would you say to those absent fathers?
I mean, if you got an opportunity, take it.
Like to be in the child's life. What about those mothers who keep the father? You know what I'm saying?
Again, that's the tough part about it, because again, that's something that's gonna come back on you at a certain particular point. You know
as a mother?
As a mother, you keep. Now, again, if a person is just a terrible person, I expect you to be a mother and keep that person away from your child.
Right.
That's just what you're supposed to do. But if a person is really a good person and they just hurt you, then you just gotta let that go. You cannot shield your children from their families and stuff, because it's not. You think you shield them just from a father, but there's a grandmother, there's a aunt, a great grandmother, possibly a cousin that love that child too. So by keeping away from his father, you may not have a problem with these other people, and you keeping them away from a bunch of people, not just the father. So you got to take that away. Again, warranted. If a guy ain't in a child life, there's steps to that. I don't expect you to just show up and just give your kid to a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Start off with let them see them supervised. You know, make them work for it, because they should work to be back in their child's life. And if they work for it, and over time, then you should allow that relationship to grow and let the child decide what type of relationship they want. If they don't want to be, then be the mother that you can be. Raise them. Make sure they got plenty of family and people they can look up to around them, and do the best that you can do. But I don't think you should ever shield a child from that. It's just not. It's something that you're gonna have to deal with later. And eventually, when the child get older, I'm a different case because I had a great family around me. But what if I found out that, then I'll be like, damn, Mom, why you keep him away from me? He said he been trying to reach me over this X amount of times, and you ain't even give me the shot. You know what I'm saying? Now this child gonna resent you later, and that's something that you gonna have to deal with. So.
Did anybody ever say anything to you negative about your dad growing up?
So he might cut on you for not having a daddy?
No,
not like that?
As far as that,
Nah, my mom wasn't like that. My mom was.
Knew him. Did anybody say anything to you?
Not that I can recall. My mom wasn't like that. My mom was like, shit, he ain't here. I got it. And my mom taught me a lot about family. My grandmother taught me, family was first and things like that. She'll say funny stuff like, you ain't got no daddy. I'm your daddy. But my mom ain't get no child support. My mom ain't go to court looking for no child. And I don't fault people. If the system allows you to get that help, get it. You know what I'm saying? It's for those people. It's for the people that are not in their children's lives. But for my mom wasn't worried about that. My mom raised us, whether she struggled or not, she just did it. And I appreciated her for that. So she ain't never be like, oh, your daddy this or da-da-da-da-da. If anything, shit, if he came, she would give him not that I know of anyways. I mean, again, maybe they had some different interactions with each other that they ain't told me about. But as far as I know, the opportunity has always been there for my dad to reach out to me. He just didn't. And so that's the choice that he made at a particular time.
Last time you spoke to your
pops? My pops was probably 4 months ago or something. I went to my sister's house to get something or to do something, and he was outside, and he walked up, and we chopped it up for a quick second. And so about 4 months ago, something like that.
Maybe not necessarily about y'all's relationship, but any like deep conversations or meaningful conversations, or is it all like surface level?
It's all surface level, general banter. We've never been alone like that to really like, so what's up type of thing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I went to see him at his crib that time, we just enjoyed the time. So we never sit and be like, so what's up? Like, what you going through? Blah, blah, blah. So it's all like, again, just what's up? How you doing? And we post. At my grandmother's funeral, his mom's funeral, we took a picture together. I posted it like, this is my pops. I'm not ashamed of him, embarrassed about him. Again, that's his story to tell. So in general, for me, when I see him, it's just like, what's up? Shit, if he wanted to go kick it or go eat or whatever, we fine. Even if it's on my dime, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel a way about him. If he said, man, I got something I need to talk to you about, I'll be willing to have that conversation with him as well. But that's up to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel no way about it. My life don't really change one way or another at this particular point.
You said your mom's
funeral? His mom's funeral. My grandmother.
Our grandmother. Okay. So we're gonna switch it up a little. Did you have any more questions, sis?
Did we ask what advice would you give to people that growing up without their father?
What advice would you give people growing up without a father?
I mean, just make your own choices, man. You can't let things dictate your situations. Like use it for an excuse. Don't use it for an excuse. I mean, you've seen the mold, you seem to be done. There's several outlets out there now. Mm-hmm. I mean, shout out to my class, you know what I'm saying? Sam Houston, Cherokees, a lot of these guys, class of 2001, boy, Kurt, Chris Collins, Nathan Newells, Jason Leonard. I mean, it's a lot of good men that I grew up with that are back in the systems, back in the street. Rashad Ray, shout out to females as well, Marceline and Monica, and anybody who does something in the school systems and stuff like these are people that are from these streets and who know what it is and who give these people opportunities and children the opportunities to be great. So back then, our resources are a little limited with social media and things and scholarships and things that's out there, man. It's a lot of opportunity out there for you. So you can't use that as a crutch and as an excuse. Deal with it, whatever way you got to deal with it. Wake up and push on and try to be better than you was. So that's the best thing you can do. Harboring feelings and harboring, emotions for somebody who ain't around ain't gonna do you no good.
Okay. So like I said, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So earlier today I was in the barbershop and it's a guy who's playing the pause game, but the other guy was like, the pause game is when you say something gay, you gotta say pause. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like saying no homo. Same difference. So the other guy was like,
yeah.
So the guy was like,
nowadays.
The guy was like, he was arguing that we shouldn't have to say pause because you should understand and know that I'm not gay. So I shouldn't have to say pause when I say certain things. The other guy was like, yo, it's just a joke. Like, it's just something we do just to tease. You know what I mean? Do you feel? How do you feel about that? Do you think is it immature to play the pause game?
It's funny. Yeah, it's immature. It's funny. It depends on, I mean, it's your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, my friends are stupid, you know what I'm saying? We talk to each other. We say dumb shit all the time. So, yes, something can sound weird if, you know, you saying something weird. It comes out weird and you be like, what? Like, that's a jokingly humor between people. So, I mean, it ain't something that's mandatory. You know, you can get it. If I know I'm speaking with a heterosexual person and they just like say something, because my humor is that I may be like, that was weird. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel any differently that he said it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
would you play that game in front of a homosexual person or however?
I mean, I must say what I gotta say regardless. I don't feel no way about a homosexual person and now they tendencies and things. I have a friend that used to be my boss. I was just talking to my brother about this as a homosexual gay man, and he's funny, man. He, you know, we don't hang out all the time like that. He's way beyond. He was my boss at that particular point, but he's invited me to events and things that he had. I mean, he's a cool dude, but I told him, hey man, we're gonna be cool. I'm gonna be talk. I ain't gonna disrespect you, but I just joke normally. So I jokingly say stuff, and he be like, man, shut your ass up. Like, it's just funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, but that's crazy because they want to act like as if, first of all, they're human just like we are. Like, what are you acting like they don't have a sense of humor? Like, it's hello, with
respect to a person's situation, you don't want to be disrespectful, but if you are friend, like I said, again, it depends on your relationship. Me and my friends are funny, and we say, one of my friends, I was meeting him to give him something, and I was in HEB, and he was like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "I'm over by the meat." And he texted me back. You gay as fuck. like that's how stupid we are. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny type of stuff. So, but I mean, it's nowadays. You know, people feel the way they feel. You got to respect people's opinions. But, I mean, if you said something without an ill intent, I mean, you stand on what you said.
I mean, is the person, what about you in the audience, y'all people checking us out, is it wrong to play the pause game? What do y'all think? Because he was really like, the dude was really adamant against it, like, yo, like, you shouldn't be playing that. You know what I mean? It's
derived more like the East Coast. So, like, I mean, it came back. And people were just saying it. So, I mean, I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think it's just, you can't force somebody to be like, oh, you need to say pause. Somebody be like, I ain't thinking like that. That's you.
Right, that's you.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I don't think it's a right or wrong thing, I guess.
Is it okay to whoop other people's kids?
Hell no.
Wait. They at your house. You whooping your kids. No. Your kids did something bad. They there with your kids. You watching them. No. So you can't whoop nobody else's kids.
Yeah, if you ain't got that relationship with somebody, they ain't your niece, nephew, somebody you had that conversation with.
So you got to be close with them.
That person may not even whoop their own kids. So you can't be whooping nobody's kids because you do. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't whoop my own kids and you gave them their first whoop, I'd be like, what the fuck? I don't even whoop my kids.
I ain't gonna whoop my kids. I don't even whoop my kids.
I think it's just test you are. It's unnecessary. I don't think you have.
But you know, our grandparents didn't give a damn.
It's your grandparents.
Well, so you saying because it's different?
Your parents.
They didn't get the okay. It doesn't matter. Your kids are at my house. Nah. They getting a whooping if they do something out of line.
Nowadays, it's just different.
I mean, they sit there and say it takes a village to raise. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, that means you get your ass whooped by the neighborhood.
This is true, but. This is just guidelines. Like I said, it's a different world. And that don't necessarily mean the child gonna respond to a whooping either nowadays. So I probably got my last whooping. I was like 9 or 10. Like nobody really whoops like that past a certain age anyway. So at the age under 10 years old, like I don't think you should. It's like determined to whoop.
So what happens after 10? You just get your ass whooped. They put the hands on you.
You should. I mean, I feel like if you're doing a good enough job, I ain't gonna say a good enough job because I don't want to discredit any parents, but sometimes the respect is fear enough. Like I don't have to necessarily whoop my kids. Like my son is very honest and he'll start crying just because I'm mad or disappointed in him. So it did the job. I didn't need to whoop him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just depends. If a kid don't respect you, whooping them not gonna do nothing anyway.
Do you whoop your kids?
I haven't whooped my kids in a minute, but I've popped them before. I'm more of a popper. I pop. Niggas, you know what I'm saying? Pop. You catch somebody doing something, sit your ass down. Stop. Pop. I've never put them through. I mean, I've whooped my kids before, but I don't, at this point, walking you upstairs, taking your room, close the door, taking my belt off. They don't do nothing that crazy that I think they deserve like a whooping. Like, we was doing dumb shit. I fucking playing with matches, starting fires, silly shit as kids. You need your ass whooped for something like that. You know, it's a little different now. Some of these kids do need ass whooping stuff. So I'm
telling you. So I mean, you may not have went through this, but you can at least give your opinion on it. So why is it as men, whenever we get cheated on or say we separate with our ladies or however, when we get back together, we ask the hurtful questions like, "Was his dick bigger than mine?" Or like, why do we ask questions like that to intentionally hurt ourselves at the end of the day?
I don't know. That's an individual thing. I mean,
no, hell no.
Everybody.
Man.
I mean, men want to feel comfortable. A man wants to feel like he's the only person in your life, and so they want to know, maybe because they want to
keep it real. They want to know because
they want to.
Why would you ask a question like, "Was his dick bigger than mine?"
Asking somebody, that's a whole other question. I don't feel like I ain't never asked that. I don't think that's a relevant question to ask. That's an insecure thing. But just asking general questions and maybe
that goes with insecurity.
That's an insecure thing. That's a one-track thing. I mean, in all actuality, man. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be with somebody, you're gonna have to forgive and figure it out. And you, as a men are more ego-based. So yeah, you want to know what happened, when, where.
Yes.
So you know. Nobody.
Okay. Well, what's that? Is that insecurity too, or what is that?
Insecurity a bit. Nobody want to be out there looking crazy. I don't want to be in a place where you was with another person and doing whatever. Like,
what about when y'all do y'all dirt?
We ain't talking about us doing our dirt. Black men don't cheat.
Black men don't cheat. Men do not cheat.
Do you feel like men should give the women that same respect?
If you want to be with them, yeah. I mean, everybody, if you want to be with somebody, it's going to be about compromise. It can't be one thing, one way all the time. A relationship is compromise. The most, important thing you give a woman is probably stability. And honestly, in my opinion, the most thing you give a man is attention. Like, and it takes compromise, but it can't be one thing, one way all the time. It's just not, in my opinion, anyway. So, I mean, if a woman was hurt and you really want to be with her, then you're going to have to answer those tough questions. Where was you at? Why did you do this? Did you look? Like, if you want to be with somebody, you do it, you hash it out, you get it out the way, and then you leave it at that. You ain't supposed to just be doing shit every day and have somebody just badgering you every day, but you talk about it, you get it out the way. If you care enough about that person, you got to answer those tough questions because you messed up. I've definitely never asked that question.
All right, Mr. Will, I feel you. He said he's all confident. What's your question?
So, okay, why is it that, and I'm not saying y'all, but most men, why is it that they can do all their dirt, like, from the beginning of the relationship?
I can explain that. Go ahead.
All throughout, and they expect the woman to move on from it. It's in the past, let it go. But yet, let her sit up there and do something one time. One time. He act like
the world is over. So she said, how come men can do their dirt from beginning to end, but yet when a woman does some dirt one time, it's like the deal breaker.
It's like the deal breaker.
Jarvis, all right, Jarvis, go ahead and go first.
Well, I mean,
let's see if you get the same answer as me.
It depends on who you're dealing with.
No. How?
It's
why?
not that it's okay. It's not an okay thing. It's not that it's okay to be done.
True.
It's just a matter of whether you like it or not. Whether I can only explain it from a male's perspective. It's not a lot of emotional connect sometimes. With men. In those particular situations. And so a man can be with a woman and not really want to be with her long term, and that's part of growing up. That's an immature thing because you need to grow out of it.
Or is that a security blanket
thing
for us?
Because you want attention and you're not getting the attention that you want, so you want that particular attention, but you don't want to be with that person. And so with a woman, generally, the connection is different between a person. So a man feels like, damn, like you loved him like that.
Yes,
you loved him more than me.
Keisha,
like, damn, like how you do me like that? And that, again, it comes with respect.
Yep.
Knowing yourself, knowing what you will put up with and what you won't put up with. And for a woman, it's unfair to try to be with a man that you too hurt to be with and put him through shit that you know ain't gonna change your mind one way or another. And vice versa. For a man, it's unfair to be with a woman who you ain't really forgiving as well. Y'all just gonna continue to put each other through shit because y'all ain't really gave up, and you're gonna set unrealistic expectations because even when he meet it, it's gonna be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And so it really just, again, it just depends on what your emotional connect is with a person. You know, if you had a one night stand with a person, your dude probably be mad as hell. Y'all work it out. If you had a relationship with a person, y'all live together. He
gonna be livid.
He gonna be feeling like, damn, like.
But what if it wasn't a relationship? What if it was just a one night stand?
I feel you can deal with a one night stand.
Sometimes
still be tripping off that one night stand.
Women or men?
Even though he doesn't have 50 billion.
Sometimes in a way, also for men that I've known, in these conversations, it depends on what you're doing for a person as well. If you taking care of a person, doing all this stuff for a person, and they still find a need to go do that, then you feel more hurt behind it. You're like, damn, I didn't do all this shit for you. You had no reason to do that. And women may feel the same way, like I do this, and this. But you can't tell a person what they want. If a man tells you he wants you to do this, you can't do this your way. You have to do this his way.
His way,
because that's what he's asking you for. You know what I'm saying? If a woman says she wants you to be this, you can't just be this in your way.
Yeah.
If you want to be with a person, you gotta be this, what they ask you to be with, or it's not gonna work. If I ask you for a massage, you can't just come up to me and just one hand and do like, I'm asking you to do what I want you to do. You can't do what you know what I'm saying?
So you want them to satisfy your selfish needs?
It's not about being selfish. You want
Yes.
what you want. A female wants what she wants. A man wants what he wants, period. Whether it be emotional, physical, whatever. Like you want what you want, and you can't tell a person, well, why are you acting like that? Why you want this? If you want to be with them, okay, this is just what I want. I want you to talk more. I want you to do this more. I want you to, again, it ain't just physical. I want you to do this more. I want you to do that more. Like that just is what it is. You can't tell a person what they want. And if that's what they want, a relationship is about sacrifice. You want to be with anybody, you're going to have to do things, not just physical, that you just don't want to do sometimes. You might want to go to a place. He might want you to come out somewhere, do something, go ahead, talk about this, and you just don't want to. A relationship is about sacrifice. You go and do things that you just don't want to do if you want to be with that person. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work.
Well, speaking of that sacrifice, why does monogamy and loyalty go hand in hand? So why is it that you have to be why is it that if you are
How about this? Do you feel like you have to be in a monogamous relationship to be loyal in that relationship?
To be loyal in that relationship. There we go. Do you have to be
Idealistically, ain't no one.
Is that society? Okay, not in society, not in society's eyes. I mean, personally, in your opinion.
Me personally, I would idealistically, again, that's just what I want. I wouldn't want a female to be loyal to me, but then unfaithful to me, or vice versa. I'm sure they wouldn't want me to be loyal to them, but unfaithful.
But why do they have to go hand in hand? Like, why do?
Because it's what you want. Loyalty sometimes feel like not putting anything above or before me. If you do, then that's not loyal to me. So if you have extra time to give to another personal situation, then you're not fully loyal to me. Because if you did whatever you was doing there, you would be doing here, or you would be thinking of another way to do something else for me if you loyal to me personally.
So what if it's 3 people in that one relationship? Can they all be loyal to each other, or is it not loyalty because, like you said, they're able to have that as a connection?
So can you be?
It can be again. It depends on the people, because we doing what society says now. Society says find a person, get married, have kids, have a job, live your life, be loyal to this one person, get married. That's just what society says. If you're not afraid of what people gonna say, how shit gonna look, or whatever the case may be, then you're okay with having 2 women or 2 men if you're a girl, and that's what. But you got to be able to accept
what comes with it.
Comes along with that, because you in a world that, you know, regardless of how I feel in the United States, I can't drive, you know, on the right side, you know, going out the way, because that's just the way the rules are set here. So this society of America is made up. The law of the land, the unspoken rules is years and years of setup. Your one relationship ain't finna change the way this shit goes. So either be willing to accept, and that's even being, you know, a gay man, a lesbian woman, that's your choice. You got to be starting. You got to. They don't know you should get treated any differently, but you got to start to be willing to accept some of the things that's gonna come your way within a respectful realm. People gonna look at you differently. 2 girls walking down the street holding hands, you know, with a child. You know, like people are gonna look at that differently, and it's gonna take maybe a conversation to open their mind to that. So you got to be able to accept that.
I guess I say that because we said earlier how men cheat for ego and women cheat for the emotion. You know what I'm saying? And if we can cheat just for ego, like there's no emotion attached to it, when it comes to saying that loyalty, I can be loyal as hell to you. Yeah, I cheated, but understand, like they say, I come home to you. I know who the queen is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, coming from
in that same aspect, what Acey is saying, like I get it, I understand it, but again, that goes back to the understanding of the person. You can't tell them, can't tell a person that their version of loyalty should be what you is. So if the person is saying, you know what, because females are like that nowadays. Shit, some females like shit. I don't care. He coming home to me. You had your name. This is my man. Yada yada yada.
Right.
So that's her concept.
This is my dog. It's my dog. He might go to your yard.
Concept of loyalty as well. So that's gonna work. But another female gonna say, nah, like I don't rock like that. My concept of loyalty is me and me only. So then, as loyal as you may believe you are to her, you can't make her have the same vision as you. So at that point, it's done. But just like, because you loyal to her and blah blah, your vision loyal may be like, damn, well, you gotta, I don't know, do this situation for me. If she don't do that, she still can feel like she absolutely 100% loyal to you.
Right.
But in your eyes, it's like, nah, like this is what my loyalty stands on. And so you can't force that upon a person. Your loyalty got to stand on what it is. And if they don't agree with you, they don't agree.
So y'all loyalty has to match up.
Got to match up.
I agree with everything you just said. My question is, why do people, knowing all of that, why do people not go out and try to find people who are like-minded? Why do they sit there and go and find a person who is the exact opposite and then get mad at that person because they're not who they wanted them to be? But you knew that from
because we lie to ourselves. Sometimes we settle. Sometimes, you know, nobody wants to be by themselves for a long period of time. So this person, we try to change people. We try to make them be who we want them to be. Maybe you didn't find that person, but this person got 8 other skills that you like, so you're willing to settle until you're not willing to settle no more. And that causes a problem. It's a short-term fix to a long-term problem. You're going to eventually have a problem because y'all not like-minded. So eventually, when you get tired or y'all not on the same loyalty or principles anymore, it's going to go sour. But as long as you honest with people up front and y'all can accept each other for what you are, then that's going to go the way you want it to go. But a lot of times we so fake with each other that you being what you want, you being what you think they want you to be. So that's what you being until y'all together. Now you being yourself. And it's like, damn, this ain't what you was earlier.
This is what you been betraying. You don't even put on makeup no more.
You know, so you gotta, you know, find, you know, you gotta be comfortable with being by yourself first to find what you want. Otherwise, you're just gonna be
that right there is deep.
What makes us have that desire to change people, all of that?
That's the persuasion. What makes it so persuasive? to the other.
Just you want what you want. So the idea of living your best life makes you feel that way. The idea of getting everything that you want, and this person just missing one thing. The idea of having everything that you can have if they just change you makes you want to just deal with that instead of being by yourself again, trying to find everything all over again. Like, this nigga loyal, he do this, he take care of me. Damn, if this nigga just had a job, he'll be
quit selling drugs
right there. So you fill out an application, you're trying to do it, but if he don't want to work, he not gonna want to work. But you continue to try to change him, and that is what it is. Or dang, she do. Yeah, then you mad at him.
The person he was.
Yeah, he told you like, I don't want to work. This ain't what I want to do. And so you like, damn, like, you know, or vice versa, man. She can't cook. She don't cook. She do this. You like, damn, I'm just gonna teach y'all to do this. And at the end of the day, y'all been together 3 years, and you like, damn, you can't cook. You like, well, I told you I don't cook. So those are light aspects to it, but I mean, it's just like that. You gotta be comfortable again with being by yourself and knowing what you want, and then, you know, being realistic to what you want. Like, you're not gonna be, you know, somebody's first this and first marriage and first kid and like, if you can accept those things, then you have a better shot at it, in my opinion. But you gotta be realistic with what you want.
Okay.
I'm just opening.
What do you look for in your women? Like, in the woman, what is some qualities, top-notch qualities? Yeah, not physical at all. Actually,
loyalty. I mean, again, intention, loyalty. I mean, standing on something, believing in something. You know, that's important in any relationship, any aspect. You want a person to believe in you as much as you believe in them, and that's where it's gonna start. Having their best interests, having my best interests at heart, no matter what. Okay. You know, being there for me, like, that's what you look for in a person. Like.
So you find this person. They got all these qualities you just named, right? It ain't that bad. They got all the qualities you just named. Only thing they lack is they don't have your physical that you like, the physical looks that you like. Can you still pursue them or date them?
If you got to know a person, you could. Initially,
even if they're ugly?
If you got to know a person, you probably could. Initially, if as a man, if you just meet somebody the first time, you're not attracted to them, the other stuff not gonna matter because you don't know them like that. So you probably will never even have a chance with that person because you'll never have a sit down one-on-one conversation with that person because
you didn't pass the physical test.
Initially you just wasn't attracted physically. Right. You didn't look the same way.
Men think they're 24/7. Okay, so what if she's like your coworker? She's been your coworker for years.
I'm saying, if you have a chance to have a conversation with a person and you like, man, this girl cooler than I thought she was. You know what I'm saying? Then you got a realistic shot at it. But I mean, females think with they vaginas as well. Like you have to physically like what you. I ain't saying it gotta be the typical, you know, what everybody deems to be a handsome man. It just gotta be what you like. If if a man don't catch your eye, you ain't gonna get 2 words from you. You just not. You just ain't looking at him like that. If he do, then you can start to dig deeper. Unless y'all got a reason to talk, y'all work together, y'all got a reason to figure out who and why he is. And I wasn't really attracted to him, but I got ready to talk to him, and now he seemed like a cool dude. Like, but if you don't visually catch your eye at that point for anybody, that's just is what it is. You ain't gonna never talk to that person ever because it's gonna. I guess I
asked that question because I was listening to the Baby's new album. He was like, if she know how to, pretty much he said, I can have a fat woman. As long as she know how to get money, I'll take her. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Yeah. So I was wondering, I was like, as men, are we really like shallow?
Yeah.
You know, because you ask women this question, this question without hesitation, 9 times out of 10, she'll be like, yeah, really the physicals really don't matter.
She lying, but you gotta meet them though. Like, again, she wouldn't just, if that's not what she into, if the woman of your dreams that you, everything like you said is there for you, and you in a grocery store, she walked by, if you didn't visually find her attractive, you just missed it.
You just missed out on it.
How did you go talk to her? You know what I'm saying? But if it caught your eye for a second, then you got a realistic opportunity at it. Other than that, it don't really matter. You ain't gonna have a conversation.
So does looks matter to you?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely.
Could you marry a woman without having sex with her first?
No.
Could you marry a woman without having sex with her first? Why can't you?
I wouldn't want to. That's stupid.
He's on a test drive.
What? What?
Why do you feel that's stupid?
It's just a connection that you gotta have that I would personally have to have. I ain't saying people. I would want my daughter to. I would want my son maybe to.
Double standard.
Because that's how I'm. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
100% double standard.
100%. Like I can't tell them though if that's their choice. Like I would want to know the connection I have with a person before I chose to take it to that next level. I would want to know that we connect like that.
On the sexual level.
On that level. But I that's me personally though.
So just like Acey just said, instead of the looks, she has everything, including the looks and everything, but she ain't let you hit there.
I mean, again, this is over a period of time. We wouldn't get married.
That's a trick.
We wouldn't get married because of that, but I can be with somebody and enjoy them and love them and grow to love them and work to that point if we wanted to have sex at some point, but we wouldn't get married until we had sex.
Depending on how bad she is, she can make you.
Even if that was the only thing missing, like you knew this was the woman you wanted to be.
Mess around, have a 90-day marriage.
That was the only part that was missing.
Oh.
You still would wait.
It would be an amazing relationship. We'd have to have amazing conversation. It would have to really, really be that, because I don't think that romantically I would be able to be with somebody without romantically knowing where we were at. I mean, there's going to be a romantic attraction. There's going to be wanting attention and to see where you are. So me personally, I don't think.
If you really think about it, though,
I don't think I could. Personally.
I think if you really think about it, though, and if you did wait, I think the relationship just might last a little bit longer. At least when y'all finally do it, and it's good, and now y'all can experience all those new moves. Like, oh, you screwed. You screwed if it's bad. I guess you can teach.
No.
Who wants to sit there and teach? I guess it depends on how old you are. You know what I mean? Like, as of right now, I don't want to teach nothing.
And then the man got to be comfortable with himself to be taught. Like,
what if she got to teach you something? What if you
who?
not
Right. What you talking about?
Impossible.
That's too funny.
Impossible.
Yes.
Impossible.
I'm not gonna ask her to act like every time it was possible. Oh, so your pride. Look.
I've known at a period of time that I'm like, that couldn't be a way that she enjoyed that.
So don't act like you ain't never nutted up before.
There's no way that could have been enjoyable.
There's no way.
You've known that.
She was faking. She was faking.
But that. I mean, again. I ain't saying nobody faked it with me. No. I said I didn't think they enjoyed it because I was probably drunk or whatever the case.
I think it could have been. Ooh, what if it's fear? What if they're scared?
But I mean, nobody wants to be an asshole. So
maybe that's it too.
Because you're in a situation. What are you gonna do? Some females tell you to get up. I mean, who knows? I mean, vice versa. What if females?
What if she told you to get up?
Fake.
What if she told you to get up? What if she told you to get up? Yes. What if she told you to get up and get out? What you gonna say?
I'm like, damn, get up.
Damn, what I do? They gonna hear that asking them hurtful questions. What I do? Your stroke game weak, man.
So you lesbian now?
So you lesbian
apparently.
Have you had a girl be with y'all and then turn lesbian afterwards?
Not that I know of. Not me.
My first. Yeah.
Not that I know of, anyway.
Yeah.
That's a preference. Who knows? That's more of a like.
She may have been that way.
Preference. I don't know. I don't think nobody would be that way because of sex. I think it may have something to do with themselves personally. I don't think it's like sexually. I don't like men sexually anymore, or this man turned me into that. But I think that's more of what you did to them. They probably just be alpha dudes at that point.
Why are we so devastated when that happens? Why is she with a woman? No. Ego.
I don't know.
Goddamn ego, boy.
Some motherfucker.
Where would we be without it, though?
So do y'all agree? I have a theory.
What's your theory?
That the man's ego is the most fragile thing in the world.
Man's ego is the most fragile thing in the world. I can agree. I think so.
Who knows? It depends on the man you're dealing with. I mean, again, it's all. Everything is never one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's all depends on who you're dealing with. Some people react a certain way. Some people don't. Some men are very jealous, over jealous. Some women are very over jealous. It just really depends. Our mind frame is one of like this person is this because this is what like I'm only dealt with these type of people and he got to be that. But everybody just not that. Every female ain't crazy ghetto. Every black man ain't this. Every white man ain't that. Like you just gotta give people opportunities to be themselves, and then we'll be all right as people in general. But we just go for what we know. Like shit, she ghetto, man, she crazy, and we don't give ourselves credit either. Black people, brown people. We have mental health issues sometimes, and for a female, we just be like, she crazy. Like, she ain't no telling what she going through. She probably just needs some help. Or a man, like, man, he crazy. He be tripping. So, I mean, it just depends on the person. I mean, I let everybody that come into my life just be themselves. Be what you're gonna be. We'll figure it out at that point. You know
What's your biggest turn off?
Smoking. I don't like females that smoke.
Like, what about they smoke weed? Oh, okay. Cigarettes. So they okay? You okay with them smoking weed?
Yeah, cigarettes are terrible.
Okay. Well, anything that we need to talk about? Anything you want to talk about? Anything we missed?
Life, man. November 1st, Quarterman's Pub.
Life? Did you say life?
I said just life in general.
Oh, okay.
November 1st, Quarterman's Pub, man. We're gonna be there live. Shout out Noah Soprano.
This table will flip on you.
With Traded Truth, man. Quarterman's Pub. Yeah. November the 1st. Live band, man, that's going down. And then Thanksgiving weekend, f.l.u. Unplugged, going down again. Thanksgiving weekend, live band, free food, a great atmosphere, man. So, and then the Eastside album project is what I'm working on. Sway in the Morning, that's on deck. South by Southwest coming up.
How was that, Sway in the Morning? Like, how was that experience?
Cool, man. Sway, the interview was cool. I got to go on the show, do an interview. I need to do that in-person video or interview. Sway. So, but the phone thing was cool, and then the Austin interview and Cypher and stuff is always cool. I mean, any kind, we don't get that in San Antonio. We don't get those outlets, Breakfast Club and Sway and Big Boy and these major outlets. We don't really get those opportunities. So anytime
I'm gonna become them.
Yeah, we gotta get that because we don't get those outlets. And so we always shot when I was watching the fight last night. Earl Spence and Sean Porter, and it was a kid from San Antonio that won a title. And we don't get those opportunities. We don't be seeing
in boxing. What was it?
In boxing.
I heard we was like number 3.
The kid from San Antonio got a title.
He was telling me, but it's probably is.
The kid from San Antonio won a title last night. I mean, you got Jordan Clarkson and Roberson. We got guys that get to these levels. We don't get to see it in such a broad, platform. So it's all like a lot of people insecure themselves hate on it. Like somebody doing something great. Shit, just celebrate it. We don't get to see it like that. Celebrate it, cheer them on. It don't got nothing to do with you, man.
Why does it seem?
South by Southwest is always crazy. And I did a podcast, an interview, Sway, and a show like all in the same day. Like it's always a lot going on. Great experience. People show you love. Yeah, man. People show you love. It's all about the music, and it'll be dope for San Antonio to be able to put something together like that. Because it's really just all about support and love. You can fall into any spot. Everybody will give you an ear, listen to your music, take something from you. Like there's all kinds of avenues for it.
Speaking of music, man, didn't you have a little something you might want to spit for us?
We got some. We got the.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the beat on this side.
So Brooklyn.
So you said, what is it called? So Brooklyn Challenge.
So Brooklyn. Shout out Casanova. He did the So Brooklyn Challenge. So, we try to go.
So you said we're going to call it the So San Antonio
Challenge? Okay. Challenge, you know what I'm saying? We're going do it my way, the way I want to do it. Hopefully nobody don't call me or interrupt me in between this time, even though my phone is on silent, but black people don't understand. We'll put this on. We'll back this up. There we go.
Oh, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hold it from my end over here.
Casanova, Eastside San Antonio in the building. You already know what it is, man. Radio, active podcast. Yeah. They say sky's the limit. I'm an astronaut. How's that? I'm just looking for the cheese, no mousetrap. See, 6ix9ine was a cool little nigga, but a rat is a rat. You gotta see the bigger picture. See, your homie is your homie. Till he faking and he fraud. I can't trust a nigga that be putting everything on God. Killer instinct. That's what I was taught. Red Fox, I just cover up my heart. This the big one. Crown on my head, got it leaning to the side. Pose the question. Best rapper. lean it to the guy. I heat a nigga up, I steam a nigga dry. See, this is the game of life, and I'm hotter than the pie on the windowsill. Damn, he's ill. Where the fuck you get it from? Mama don't rap shit, neither do her other son. Ask me about the dope game, I learned it from her other son. Now that nigga so gone, I'm feeling like the older one. Old one, never can I let it get me down. Ain't nobody gave me shit, so I gotta get it now. Everybody got their hands out, no hokey pokey. I ain't falling for the trap, no okie dokie. World full of anger, nobody to coach me. I'm getting it bread and there's nobody to toast me. I will bag these niggas like groceries. So remember this before you approach me. Flu, America's worst nightmare. When your lights off, you gotta have a bright idea. 12 years old, asking mama, where the heat at? Oven door open while she worried. Where her seat at? Brother out trapping. She gonna take it if he paid it. Irony is, she won't let him sell it where we stay. So she up all night. Can't sleep till he home. Parental paranoia every time she hear the phone. See, this is real life. I'm just speaking from the dome. No lope, but I'm repping for the tone. We all babies, kids. So if you blood or screaming 527, I just hope your family got something to eat while you repping. So we all come together or we all die. Change your face, potato head. Don't be a small fry. We all brothers. Sleeping head to foot. No detective. Live like a living color. That's the message. Should I keep it going? Why not? Rasheed Wallace. Cause all my niggas dying on the spot. Be a mother to your son, not a stranger. This is what happens when boy meets world. No Topanga. Danger. This shit is mystical. I heard my kinfolk died in his living room. You don't gotta listen to anything that I gotta say. Accept it or give it away. White elephant. Dumbo. Kendrick told him be humble. Aquila and the bee trying to teach my daughters to bumble. Float like a butterfly. Sting if you have to. Be your own flame. Never let a nigga match you. Be black and beautiful like I asked you. Jackie Joyner Kersey, never let a bitch pass you. They gon' fear you because they can't control you. Jason Bourne, never forget the OU. Flu. Yeah.
Wait,
Gets busy like that.
wait, hold on, it's on fire, man. It's on fire. Put it out. Put it out.
Like,
Put it
so
out.
Brooklyn, shout out Casanova, Brooklyn in the building. So Brooklyn, so San Antonio challenge, man. We in there.
So
like that.
And how long did it take you to? Was it in freestyle or something? Or
it was? I mean, it's just something I had conjured up. You know what I'm saying? I stay with them.
How do you do that?
Stay with them, man. It's life's experiences, one-offs, just things that come into play. You know what I'm saying? Like you just.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That's always been something about you. Always come with bars, bro. Like that's one thing Texas about you that you never let go.
Bars
you come
man.
with the bars, the
authentic stories, bars, things that happen, things you go through. You got to find a way to just make it, like sound good. Make it like, people could dumb it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been good at that.
I heard that, man. What words do you have for other artists out there?
I mean, shit, come together, man. I mean, if you got an outlet and maybe it ain't working for you, man, let somebody else know, man. Shout out everybody, Duck Pond Films, did some work with them, you know what I'm saying? Dice Photos, my boy G Wallace, you know what I'm saying? KG, you know what I'm saying? IQ, Yoda, Loyal to the Game, Avar, Cheddar, it's just a lot of Lil Pooh. I mean, I fuck with a lot of people, man. I mean, I feel like we got a solid niche of people that just really are, alive and just do their motherfucking thing. We just need a platform. That's all it is. Somebody gonna have that platform. Shout out Nova, Soprano. Again, November 1st, man. Quarterman's Pub, Trade of Truth. We need these platforms to be able to really like show people what we can do. And once we do that, we're gonna be good.
What female hip-hop artists do you listen to?
In general?
Big Stallion.
Local and non-local.
Female artists you listen to, local and not local.
Not local. I mean, I've listened. I just downloaded Young M.A.'s new album.
That one was dope.
That was pretty dope. It's not a lot of a lot of these females. It ain't that they don't go hard. It ain't got nothing to do with that. A lot of them make some great music. It don't relate directly to me. Like a lot of Cardi's and Megan Thee Stallion, their music is real. Pop your shit, hot girl summer type of shit. It just don't relate to me. Some of the songs are great, but I don't really relate to it. Struggle wise, vision wise, like it just don't relate to me. But I mean, a lot of them make great music. Locally, I mean, Boss Lady's pretty dope. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot of female rappers like that. They really just put the time and energy and everything into it, and like make projects and give it to you. I mean, I know Boss Lady, has some great music and stuff that I've heard, And outside of that, I mean, I've heard some females, you know, shout out Chocolate and some other females that I've heard on the spot, but I don't get a lot of resources and ways to find their music, so I don't listen to a lot of it. Not because it ain't good, I just don't. Maybe that's me out of the loop. Maybe I just don't know. I don't know a lot of female rappers that just do it like that.
Okay, man. Social medias.
Man, everything is at f.l.u Season 83, Twitter, Instagram at f.l.u Season 83. My government, of course, is Jarvis Pittman. You can see me on Facebook posting shit. That's more for some personal post stuff here and there. But follow me on Instagram at f.l.u Season 83. Snapchat at f.l.u Season 83. Like, yeah, man, it goes to any YouTube videos. It's f.l.u Season. Shout out my video Lifetime. That was on a lot of platforms. Got close to 50,000 views.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this. I wanted to ask you
great
that video.
Response. Shout out Duck Pond Films. We did the 100 video. That's climbing. iTunes, music on iTunes, music on Tidal. I mean, everywhere. We're trying to make it as available as possible. But definitely want to get these visuals up and really get this East Side project out there to you guys before I back out. You know what I'm saying?
Why the name f.l.u?
Why f.l.u?
I was first started from sports, like music. We used to watch the N1 mixtape. Everybody had a name. I was just hooping. I'm like, I'm sick on the court. You know, so I would say f.l.u. And then I was rapping in Virginia at one point at this battle when I was in the Navy. And I was sick. I really wasn't supposed to be there. And I ended up winning. And the dude that was supposed to come back battle me, he got sick. So they was just like on words, oh, you want to battle him? You're going to get sick. You're going to get sick. So just kind of stuck. And I was just f.l.u. at that point. You know, family, loyalty, unmatched is what it stands for. But I mean, it's f.l.u. Is, you know, it's what it is for me.
Do you have any merchandise and stuff that people can?
T-shirts, cups, mugs. We're working on it. Oh, I got T-shirts now, so you can hit me up at f.l.u Season 83 on Instagram. Definitely come to the Trade of Truth concert November 1st. We're gonna have a merchandise table, so we're gonna have a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? T-shirts, mugs, wristbands, slippers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to get it out to you if you're willing to support. You know, I fuck with you. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But definitely got it available for you though.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. So you talking about Duck Pond Films, correct? Which is Auto Silence.
Yeah.
So me and Auto Silence kind of I don't think he know it, but we kind of underline beefing because I was chopping it up with Auto Silence. If I know about it. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was chopping it up every time Auto Silence came out with his tone. I think it's called Tone in the City. I always shared it. Boom. I always shared it. Supporting. You know what I'm saying? I had hit him up one day. I had asked him like, yo, what's some things that I need to work on? Because I like the way he had put it together. And he didn't, you know, I think he gave me his response. And I don't know, all of a sudden he just stopped. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I felt some type of way. So the fact that you didn't respond, the fact that you don't share my shit, was I wrong for feeling the way I felt or feeling some type of way? I'm listening to every episode.
How good of friends are you with the person?
I don't know this. I never met. I met this guy one time.
So it's like you can't really like get too upset. Somebody you ain't really like know like that. That's not sharing. Because trust me, people send me shit all the time. When I went on Sway, my inbox went from like 24 to like 300 instantly. I can't answer all that shit at one time. And so it may take time to get through. I got like over 500 friend requests right now, some social media platforms. It take a lot to get to. But if I know you personally, then believe you can reach out to me. We'll figure it out. I mean, have a conversation with them in person. Duck Pond move around a lot. I know a lot of people that move around a lot. You move around a lot. Sometimes you just can't get to it. It might have slipped your mind. You might have been just going, you know, doing different things. My family knows sometimes. They tell me, hey, man, I got this thing next week. Hey, next Thursday, remind me again because I will forget because I got a lot of stuff going on. So I think personally, man, you never know what's going on in somebody's life, man. Hit them up, see what it is. You know what I'm saying? People just be going.
If he don't respond, I hit him up. If he don't respond again, that's it.
Yeah, people just be going. How many times? Everybody can't share everything. I appreciate the people that do, but you should.
But that's how I feel. I'm sharing your stuff.
But that doesn't obligate you to share.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It should though.
It don't. It depends on who you know.
Did you share it because you wanted him to share yours, or did you share it because you enjoyed what?
I shared it because I enjoyed what I saw.
You gotta leave it at that. If you saw something and enjoyed it, and they put their time and work into it to give you a project of some sort.
But I didn't enjoy every episode, but I shared every episode.
But that was your choice. Yeah, you wanted to get out there, and you got to start to network and fuck with people and trust me. if you network with people and get into their circles, most people will just share it. You know what I'm saying? It's society shit. I got 5,000 or so close now.
My man, Jarvis ain't never shared nothing.
Shit, I share as much as I can share. I'm trying to wind off of social media as well. So if you send me something and I ain't immediately respond to it, it has nothing to do with anything. Find me in person because I really just trying to just wind off of it, which is counterproductive because I do a lot of music. I'm trying to get it out there. At the same time, social media is just a headache sometimes, and I have a real actual life, and so I focus on that. If I got to that point, hell yeah. If I got to a point, I would love to tap in from time to time and have a thought and be like, hey man, make sure you respond to that or say this. And I ain't at that level yet, you know what I'm saying? So I wish I did, but I definitely shit. Everybody would. Then they could take some shit off me. I can tell them post some shit and be like, I ain't post that. What do you mean?
Pause. All right. Anything else though? Anything else?
Yeah. When we get to that level, we all locked in. We already know what it is, man.
Already.
Y'all definitely appreciate y'all for the platform. Y'all make sure y'all tune in, check out the podcast. Always going live, always giving an opportunity for people out there. So y'all make sure y'all tap in and tune in, man. We ain't never gonna get nowhere if we don't support each other. So shit, just do your best. If you miss one episode, catch the next one, share it, like, comment. If you like something, comment, let us know about it, man. Fuck with you.
Already. All right, y'all, man. This is Radioactive. Peace.
Gotta watch the Cowboys.
Yeah, did the Cowboys win?
Shit, playing right now. I gotta get to it. Now I'm supposed to go to this meeting. Let's do what I'm all behind.